So after returning from Scotland, where I noticed my mattress pad wasn't working, it was leaking, and I suspected it might be the valve or a pinhole leak, because it would take about 8 hours or so to deflate. I took the mattress pad, I filled it up with air, and then I put soapy water over the entire mattress pad. And I discovered that there are small pinhole leaks in the top near the valve, but not actually on the valve itself. Look here, where the valve seats, there's like a plastic, I guess, a plastic piece that is underneath the material and forms like a block for the valve to go into. But that thing has two edges toward the end. So what I found is the area where the plastic joins with the material, I guess, becomes like a weak spot and makes a small little puncture hole. So right here and right here. And I noticed it on both sides. So it's actually, I don't know if it's the material goes straight through on both sides where that plastic, but I guess that's somehow rubbed. Now I don't know if that's user error or if it's just the case of that's just a weak spot, maybe from design, because of the plastic rubbing against the material and maybe opening and closing or folding it, or perhaps the way I had it in my pack. I really don't know. Now, I did send an email to Thermarest, and they just said they would have to look at it and assess it. So in order to do that, I have to ship the pad back to Thermarest to their customer service. It would probably take several weeks, which I don't want to lose the pad for, and they'll assess it. If it's a warranty item, obviously they'll repair it, but if it's not, if it's something like a wear and tear item or operator or user fault, in this case, if it's just from wear and tear, they'll repair it, but they'll charge me to repair it. So I don't know how much it would cost to ship it back. Probably not very much. It's very light, but it still would take up some bulk. I'd have to fold it up and put it in and ship it, but I'd lose the pad for 6 to 8 weeks, which might not be a bad thing because I'm probably not going camping for the next 2 months or so, but I figure that's not really necessary to do. So what I decided to do is to get a product online, and this is what I bought. This is made by Gear Aid. It's a repair kit. It's remain flexible, so I can bend it and fold it up, hopefully without tearing it again. And it's also waterproof. In this case, it will make it airtight and maintain the integrity of the envelope that holds the air for the pad. At least that's my plan. If I have trouble with it and I can't get this to work, I can always ship it back, obviously, and let them fix it. But I think that it's an easily repairable item. It's a very small pinhole leak. I just need to make sure I cover the area well, let it dry, and it would be good. The normal, I was afraid to use the normal repair kit that has these little glue discs and little patches because, it's starting to rain now, because it's an area that flexes and folds, and I don't think that would work. Plus, it's a very tiny pinhole. It's not on the flat surface. If it was anywhere else on the pad, I would probably just use that. But I think this is a much better repair in sense of totally sealing it. And this is comparable to what I did on my other mattress pad when I was in California, where the glue is really what seals the envelope that holds the air. The patch on top is just to give it extra strength and durability and make it blend in and match, and hopefully make it a better repair than just the glue itself. Because over time, the glue might begin to peel or flake off or get worn down by contact with the ground. So it just gives a little protection. So what I also like about this one that I bought is its UV curing. So in other words, it does not dry out, or it does not, in essence, cure until it's exposed to UV light. Now, obviously, you can use a UV flashlight, which I don't have, but all I have to do is put it out in the sun, and it says on a sunny day, it cures the glue, the adhesive, in about 30 seconds. So what I like about that is I can position it somewhere inside, maybe fix it inside if you're out in the field on your tent. I'm not going to carry this with me. I'm doing this in my house, obviously, now. But I can put the glue on there and then bring it outside and then just put it in the sun for a little while and let it dry out, and it cures, and it dries very fast. 30 seconds is pretty good. I let it sit for longer than that, probably 2 to 3 minutes. It's been curing the whole time. we've been speaking. I did one side, I'm about to do the other, and then I realized I should probably record this and show what I'm doing. What you want to do is you want to apply this, they call it aqua seal because it's more for water than it is obviously keeping air in, but it still will do the trick. And you want to cover the area and go a little bit larger. So you don't want to just put a drop where the pinhole is. You want to go larger to make sure that you cover the entire area, and that gives it some strength and durability. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some on the other side. I've already done one side, and I'll show you that in a second. So you can see here the area I was showing a minute ago, and here is where the glue is, the adhesive, and it's sticking here in the sun, and it's going to cure. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the other side, but hopefully this time I'll remember to record it as I apply the glue or adhesive to it. And that's really all there is, and then I'll just let it sit out here in the sun again. So I'm just going to apply this right here, which is where I see a little spot that's rubbed, and I think there might be a leak there. I'm just going to go a little bit larger, and I'm outside, so I want to work fast because there is UV light out here. It's the sun, even though it's a little cloudy. And hopefully I'm getting every place that I think the leak would be. I didn't mark it because it seemed to be right at the corner where that joins on both sides. So I didn't really worry about it. So it's a very small tube, but you don't need a lot. So a little goes a long way, as they say. I'm being a little also generous with it because I'd like to make sure that I get everything that I need to, and it's more than covered. Okay, so that's it. You can see by the shiny areas where I applied the adhesive right there and then right there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stick it out here on my patio and let it continue to dry in the sun, and hopefully that's enough UV light that will cure and activate the adhesive. I'm going to let it sit out here for several minutes, and then later on I'll come back and bring it inside and I'll probably test it. Just thought I'd show a better view of the field repair kit, and this is it's UV curing, but it's called aqua seal because it's made for water usually, but like I said, it dries fast because it cures. So the good part is, until you're ready, if you can, bring it inside or put it together inside a tent or even indoors, and then take it out to the UV light, and it will, so you have a little bit of workability with it, but it dries extremely fast. It cures, they say, in 30 seconds. So one of the reasons why I chose the UV activated one is because it allows me to manipulate the glue and make sure I have the area before I stick it outside, and it cures and dries. And the second reason is because it's UV activated, I don't think the tube itself will dry out. Many times when you buy glue or adhesive, it sits on your shelf, and then when you go to use it, like crazy glue, it begins to evaporate and it dries out, even though it's in the tube, it's sitting in a drawer on a shelf. And then in essence, you can't use it. It becomes basically garbage. So by having this UV activated, I'm hoping that this will not dry out and become hard or gunky on the top of the dispenser like those glues will. I'm hoping it will remain pliable and fresh sitting in my gear closet, so that when I need to use it again, or if I decide to take it on a trip, it will remain in my gear bag. It'll be usable when I need it. Okay, so I've come back outside after repairing this, and this is the valve, the wing valve, and you can see in here, hopefully this right here is the plastic, and wherever the plastic was meeting the material, there seemed to be a little tear. So I don't know if it's from folding it or whatever, but I glued all 4 of these corners, 2 on each side, and I'm going to see now if it leaks and holds air. So we'll try that out. So to better illustrate what I've been talking about, and hopefully this does it, you can see there's like a white plastic, let me turn this a little bit. There's a white plastic piece that holds in this valve, and this valve is just glued in there, making a seal. And the wing valve is replaceable, unlike the older models of Thermarests. So this is an improvement. But it seems like wherever the plastic was meeting the material, here and here, as well as here and here, I had little small pinholes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put water with soap on it and see if I get any leaks. And if that's not the case, then I assume that this is repaired, and I'll take it out. I might leave this inflated overnight and just see how it does. And this is one of the easiest ways to see if you have a leak. Another one is to place the you can place the whole air mattress in a bathtub or into a bucket or anything else. And what I'm looking for, see, here's soapy bubbles, but they're not bubbling up. If they're bubbling up, and I regret that I didn't record it when I first started repairing it, you will see the bubbles continuing, propagating. As the air leaks out, it would increase the bubbles. So this does look like, in fact, it's been repaired. As you can see, there's no bubbles increasing in size. Even this big bubble here, it would start growing. So that looks good right there. And if you had a leak somewhere else, you can do the same thing. Just put water on it. And that's how I've always been able to find leaks. Let's flip it over and see if we have the same thing on this side. And in fact, looks like it's been repaired. I just thought I'd take a moment and show you the kit, the field repair kit that I mentioned in the video, which is the Thermarest field repair kit that comes with all Thermarest mattress pads. And this is what it looks like. It comes usually in a bag like this with a card which has instructions. If you're looking to, you can downsize. You don't really need the instructions unless you're not sure what to do. But this is really all you need to carry. So you can drop this, maybe even take the card out and just use the plastic bag. So by carrying all this, you're just carrying a lot of extra weight that you don't need in the booklet and even the bag. You can go much, much lighter. Anyway, inside the field kit, there's alcohol wipes, which just is to clean the area and prep it for the repair to make sure there's no grease or oil or anything that would interfere with the adhesive making a good bond with the material. Then you have these glue dots, as they call them. And it's basically glue adhesive that's in wax paper, and this is what it looks like. Comes in this wax paper like thing. And what there is a dot of adhesive in here, and I'm hoping I can get this to show. Let me see. Yeah, and you can see that adhesive in there. It's just basically a dot of adhesive, and it's on the wax paper, so it's sticky on both sides. And you would stick that over the area that you locate that has the leak. Hopefully it's small enough that it's covered by this dot. Otherwise you have to use two of them together or three or four, but they only give you two. So if you have a larger tear or multiple tears, you can only do two repairs, which is a problem. And you put this on first, make sure it's sealing the leak. And then after you put the glue dot on, or the adhesive, you cover it with a Tear-Aid Type A patch. And this will look familiar because you noticed I used this on my tent in last week's video. The last video prior to this one, I used this Type A patch, and that will seal it. The reason why you use both is the glue dot actually is the adhesive that seals it, and the patch covering it, rather than sealing it, is really reinforcing it and protecting it, and it's just another layer. So it gives it some more strength and durability, because if it's a mattress pad, it's going to be getting rubbed on by you, by maybe your sleeping bag, the ground, your tarp, your tent, whatever you may be using. So that you want to make sure it's going to be durable and last, and it's not going to be prone to getting torn or ripped off. Especially these glue dots, I could see the adhesive beginning to roll over time over a surface, because even though they're round, they have some height. They're pretty thick. They're a little thick. So the glue, I thought, was a much better patch for multiple reasons. I used the glue because, one, it was a tiny little pinhole patches, and I didn't want to waste these two glue dots. Plus, I felt that I had 4 spots that needed to be repaired, so I only have 2 dots. I would have to buy more anyway. And the fact that it was on that block by that valve, and it's an area that flexes a lot, which is, I think, is how the leak began in the first place. I think that material, I don't know, I want to keep calling it Mylar, because it's like a Mylar balloon. And where it joins the plastic, and it flexes, and it rubs, and I feel that's poking through and making a leak. So the adhesive, I felt, was a much better choice. Plus, it allows me to still have my repair kit to take with me when I go hiking, for when I really need it. because I'm not going to carry that tube probably, although it's a good idea because I can use it for my mattress pad as well as, you know, some other stuff, but mostly the mattress pad. So that's it. Hopefully you got something out of this. I don't know. I haven't been able to find too many people. If anyone else has been having the same problem with their Thermarest in the same area, I'd be interesting to know that, because I think it is maybe a flaw in the design. That hard plastic seems to, I guess, rub or wear out that material right there. I do think it's an improvement over the last valve. The wing valve is an improvement because you can replace it. And it seems to be a little bit more sturdy than the prior valves that Thermarest was using. So let me know if you've had any similar problems with your Thermarest pad. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. And feel free to leave a comment below. I respond to all those. If you like what I'm doing, you like the videos, please consider giving a like or a thumbs up. And if you feel so inclined, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you. Till we meet again.